Cześć, witam Cię bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku ze Starfielda. Zostaw kciuka, subskrypcję, dzwoneczek i będziemy sobie teraz kontynuować kolejne tutaj questsiki, ale zastanawiam się, czym by się tu zająć. Czy zajmujemy się na Straży Gwiazd, ukończ misję Strażników Wolnych Gwiazd, czy nowa narracja, podłóż tajne pliki w Lord Akali. Mamy też sporo zadań różne, no i też sporo misji. I też sporo drobnych, więc ja bym sobie na spokojnie porobił teraz troszeczkę takich misji. Zobaczmy. Uratuj zakładnika na statku, który ma na swojej orbicie Kalera. Okej. To może jednak drobne zróbmy. Porozmawiaj z komandor Taulą. Zacznijmy sobie od tego kłaścika. I jest on nawet niedaleko, bo w dzielnicy NATO gdzieś musimy się do niej udać i z nią pogadać. Zaraz zobaczymy sobie, gdzie to dokładnie będzie. Na górę. Okej, no fajnie, że nie walnąłem się windą, bo bym był już bliżej tego miejsca. Bo byśmy wyszli tutaj, w tym miejscu, za tą babką. No ale dobra. Pogadajmy.
Well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain. No need to thank me. You brought this on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount. And the credits should be in your accounts now. But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Milion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access. Just out the front door and across the plaza, by the embassies. Look for the Milion sign. Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment. There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use defending UC space. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up terramorphs. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien threats on the horizon. Any of those missions call to you? Sure, he'll have all the specifics. If you find yourself looking for more work, you know where to find me.
No dobra. Teraz na dół, tam. Też jakbym nie mógł zjechać windą.
Jetpack damaged or something?
No po co ma działać? Właśnie tak się zastanawiam, czemu ja się nie typuję. Patera WKT. Dobra, nawet już wiem, gdzie jestem dokładnie. Porobimy sobie tych questów z drobnych wszystkie, jakie się teraz da zrobić. Potem dalej zobaczymy, co będzie. Jezu, ile tu ludzi nagle. No tak, w sumie. Ujawniliśmy jej starego, to teraz jej przysłali tyle osób, żeby nie mówić. Tak, kurde, tu badania robi. Ten robot tu też jest. Siema, byku.
Why, hello, fellow Class 1 citizen. Who knows? Probably need to cut me down and count the rings to figure it out at this point. I joined UC DRIP, Defense Research and Initiative Program, right after graduation. Worked on all kinds of projects, but I fell hard for Xenobio. Way I saw it, nature had already figured out plenty more than we ever will. So, why not just copy some of the answers? Initially, it was a lot of material sciences, using carapace to make tougher ship hulls, biofluids for helmet glass that didn't fog.
But when the war started looming, top brass in the UC military had other ideas for what we should be looking into. That's where xenoweapons got started. There was a team before us, set up in some secret base somewhere, that laid down a fair bit of groundwork on the field. But when a lab accident took them down, they called on Hadrian and I to take up the mantle, set in motion everything that's come since. Oh yeah. Known each other since the Xenoweapons team first set up on Mars.
You can imagine my shock when I walked into this place for the first time and found some plucky 19-year-old was gonna be my partner. We were supposed to be co-heads initially, but you've dealt with Hadrian. You can imagine about how long that lasted. But the Major knew her stuff. Saw potential in all her staff and knew how to get the best out of them. Kind of bull only an uncynical woman like Hadrian could pull off. For all the damage that group did, we were real tight-knit. Having that back, it's nice. Why? You want to watch an old man squirm? What we did back then, we were trying to win a war. We used every tool we had, tools we were permitted to use at the time, to try and win it. Well, UC did what the situation demanded, just like all of us did. And frankly, it's been too damn long for me to hold a grudge anymore. But at least now, with the TMD, some of that work is finally being put to better ends. Makes looking back a little less painful. You heard right. These terramorph attacks, they caught the UC off guard. UC brass doesn't like that. So, they want us patrolling the front lines of xenological life, ensure we've got intel on any possible new alien threats.
Which means we need someone to track down said aliens and harvest samples from them. And not just any sample from these animals is gonna do either. We're trying to build a comprehensive picture here, which requires specific cells from specific family lines of some oftentimes unfriendly creatures. But since dealing with unfriendly creatures falls square in your wheelhouse, well, I figured we might be able to recruit you for the task. This isn't the same sort of harvesting you and Hadrian were doing with the Terramorphs. A little will go a long way here. If you can get close enough to these creatures to harvest from them directly, you should be able to collect what we need without killing them. I checked with Lieutenant Gwalter before heading out. A good EM weapon could serve you well on these missions. Though, if heavens forbid, there's no viable option other than putting the things down. We're only talking a select few specimens here. These populations will recover.
Pretty much every beast, behemoth, critter, and chimera humanity's run across is on the list. But we can send in-house researchers after the little guys. Your job will be primarily dealing with the, more troublesome species. Look, I'd ask some UC grunt to do it, but I'd much rather have it in hands I know I can rely on. Think about it, all right? Yeah? Glad to hear it. There is just one additional wrinkle. UC spec this as a one-person job, but I convinced them this sort of task merits expert backup. So, if you're interested, they've agreed to let you take Hadrian with you.
You'll have to convince her, of course. But I don't think she'll fight you too badly.
I expect she wouldn't mind too badly being out there herself, so pay her a visit before you head out. Now, let's get you the details of your first quarry. Here you go. Head there.
Mam nadzieję, że ona nie będzie w miejsce, że tak powiem. Miejsce... Siema. Miejsce Sary.
Captain, looks like we missed each other back at Mast. Listen, I just wanted to say, I could have never guessed where all this was going to lead. But now, knowing what I do, that my father truly is the monster I always thought he was. Well, I've just spent a lot of my life in pursuit of the truth. So, you bringing it straight to me, it just means a lot. The best ones certainly do. You know, I was thinking, while we were up on that podium, if I wanted to try and see him again. But I knew the answer before I even finished the thought. I didn't. Because confronting him, what would I have gained from that? From letting him remind me I can never truly be rid of him? Nothing. Now, all I'd be doing is acknowledging that he still has some sway over my life. And while I can't do anything about his role in my past, I'm not about to let him control my future. And thanks to what we've done together, that future is brighter than it has been in a long time. Words can't do justice to how grateful I am for that. He said that? I mean, I guess. You're sure you'd really want me to come with you? Yeah, maybe. I have to admit, that trip to Londinium whetted my appetite for field work. I saw myself at the TMD for the long haul, but if Percival already okayed this, then I'm in. If you really need backup out there, I'll watch your 6. Yeah, I think so too. Thank you for the offer. Really. It was unexpected, but I think this will be for the best. Both for me and for the settled systems.
Okej, no na okręg ją trzeba przydzielić, tak?
I'll head out soon. I just need to talk to Percival before I go. He's gonna get an earful for arranging this without talking to me about it first. See you, Captain.
Nora. Okej. No dobra, to trzeba zrobić ten quest teraz, tak? 30 level, na lajcie. Mam chyba 36, jeśli dobrze liczę.
You got me kicked out of the Crimson Fleet, and now it's time for me to take everything from you!
Wkurzymy go?
What? You gotta be kidding. You don't even remember? Ha! I'd like to see you try. I almost made
Ja
it
byś się
into
nie
the
zdziwił,
Crimson Fleet
gościu.
and got a crack at some real money. Then you had to open your big mouth. You stole everything from me, and I'm here to steal it all back.
Teraz to ty zginiesz, gościu.
We've nothing left but space dust.
Today's not your day.
No i mówiłem. Ty, on mnie rozjebał. To jest kurwa, raz, dwa, trzy. Okej, wracamy i z tego co widzę, ten gość nas teraz nie zaczepił. Super. Nie wiem, po chuj w takim razie on w ogóle był. Dobra, mapa. Ustal kurs. Wyląduj. Wtedy mnie rozjebał, a teraz mnie już nie rozjebuje, no fajnie. Totalny bezsens. Chciałem tylko przeskipować 3 minuty kody dialogów. I wycinać z odcinka. Dobra, gdzie to nas prowadzi? Cztery próbeczki, tam. Trochę tu już jest zbadane, ale tylko... Ale tylko trochę. Coś tam sobie możemy popatrzeć, pobadać.
Big mistake.
Co się rzucasz?
And that, my friend,
Miałem zdjąć ten celownik, ale nadal nie zdjąłem. Dobra, pierwsza próbka zebrana. Coś tam możemy pozaznaczać i tak będziemy przecież na tą każdą planetę zasuwali później. Wszystko odkrywali po kolei.
Zeroing in on anything useful?
Okej. Druga próbka zebrana. I trzecia też. Idziemy po czwartą. Okej. Dobra, dostarcz próbki. Czy coś tu jeszcze blisko mnie jest do skanowania tego? Jeszcze chwilę poklikamy. Nie chcę się tam teleportować. No i dobra, niech będzie tak jak teraz zostawimy, tak. Telepujemy się, dostarczamy próbeczki do kwatery WKT, czyli tam gdzie przed chwilą byliśmy. Napiszmy sobie, bo że jak znowu zginiemy, to nas wypieprzy kurwa 3 dni przed.
You must be the one with the samples then. I'll get these logged ASAP. If you're interested in collecting more, you can speak to Dr. Walker. Oh, and your pay? Here you are. Thank you, Captain.
Nie ma problemu. No i dobra, szybka misyjka, 150 XP-ka. Hit. Drobne. Dal kurs. Dzielnica NATO. No i dobra. Lećmy w takim razie. Trzeba w końcu wziąć i będzie się zająć przebudową naszego statku, bo mamy
While we're here, it wouldn't hurt if we checked in at the lodge.
kilka rzeczy moim zdaniem tam do zrobienia w tym, żeby był lepszy. trochę poczytać na temat tego, jak zrobić dobry statek w Starfieldzie. I do tego, chyba nie byłem, i do tego przydałoby się też te bronie pomodyfikować.
Good time to make a move. Well, well, if it isn't the United Colony's newest Class 1 citizen. You've made quite a name for yourself in New Atlantis. In fact, the higher-ups want to thank you for your dedicated service by giving you one of the nicest pieces of real estate in the city. It's a premium penthouse at the top of Mercury Tower. Best location in New Atlantis, in my professional opinion.
What do you say? It'll just take a second to get you registered as the owner.
Great! You're in for a real treat. It's one of my favorite apartments in the city. Okay, you're all set. Your new home's located in Mercury Tower in the residential district. You'll love the place. It has a gorgeous floor plan and an unbeatable view of the city. Now that you're an owner, I'm sure I'll be seeing you around town.
Okej, no to idźmy zobaczyć tę chatę. Odwiedź swój nowy penthouse. No dobra. Mam nadzieję, że nie zapomnę, że go mam i kiedyś jeszcze do niego pójdę. Dzielnica mieszkalna, okej. O kurde, to może być niezły budynek. Widokiem na miasto. No, tu nic nie umeblowane. Nie wygląda to źle. No, mogę sobie tu budować co chcę. O ci kurwa chuj, jaka łazienka druga. Gościu. Pralnia, okej, też jakiś pokoik. Jak garderoba wygląda takie. Okej, tu coś jeszcze jest. To taki gabinecik. Powiedział. Dobra, zobaczmy widok. No kurwa.
We should have a talk. When you have the time, of course.
Sorry.
The two of us make quite the pair, eh?
Chciałem cię zrzucić, tylko nie pamiętam jaki był.
Sorry to pull you aside like this, but I wanted to take a moment to congratulate you. Taking those steps to eradicate the terramorph threat is essential to the safety of every living thing in the settled systems. You should be proud. Really? If anything, I feel that I'm understating the situation. I hope you realize how much of a difference you've made. I only wish that the United Colonies chose to exterminate the terramorphs with the experimental microbe, instead of choosing this ridiculous Asili solution. Apparently, their decision was based on your recommendation. That was a risky choice you've made. Minimal risk. Are you sure? The Asili solution might take years, perhaps even decades. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking for humankind. That sounds far too risky to me. I'm sorry to hear that, but what's done is done. The Asili's method has been deployed, so we'll have to wait and see if it's effective. Thankfully, the eradication of the Lazarus plant gives the Asylees a bit more time to do their job. You haven't let me down. You've simply given me cause for concern. I'll tell you what. Let's put this past us, shall we? I'm sure everything will work out in the end. I'm sorry if I've hurt you in any way. I wouldn't want anything like this to come between us.
Dobra, a jak mogę cię stąd zrzucić? Kurwa, nie da się jej zepchnąć. Ale bym w Skyrimie jej fuzroda zajebał. Dobra, zobaczmy co tu jeszcze jest. A tu widok z okienka. Tu widok na miasto jest bardziej. Stąd nawet statek mój widać. Okej. Ładny apartamencik mamy, nie powiem, że nie. No ale dobra, trzeba robić kolejne questy. Sierżartem... O, on jest w loży, dobra. Zaraz pod nami właściwie. Tylko sobie jeszcze questa trzeba wybrać. Przepraszam. Nie, on nie jest kurwa tu. No to jak mnie ta gra prowadzi? Nie no, w loży. No, co jest?
Don't mind bunking on the ship, but nothing is better than unwinding.
Nie no, na zewnątrz. O co tu chodzi? Z czemu mnie do loży kazało przeteleportować? Gdzie ten typek jest w takim razie? A, może on jest tu w budynku czy coś. Nie no, ja muszę pojechać metrem gdzieś. Ja nie rozumiem totalnie, dlaczego mnie tutaj tepło. Kurs. Ewidentnie na loże mi każe lecieć. LOL? No, port kosmiczny. Coś tu się ewidentnie zepsuło. Co, do statku mam iść? Może pokazało loże, ale on jest na statku przydzielony. Nie no, on tu gdzieś jest. Biuro Ochrony ZK.
Ah, if it isn't my favorite part-time security officer. Looks like you got some fines to clear up. Smart move. Now, come along with us. We'll take any contraband and stolen property, and you'll be free to go.
Nawet nie wiem, kurwa, co było. Mundur podporucznika SY. Aha, to był ten mundur, który miałem i teraz już nie mam żadnego na sobie. Fajnie, jestem goły teraz, dzięki typie. Dobra, kończymy ten odcinek. Dzięki serdeczne za oglądanie. Zostaw kciuka, subskrypcję, dzwoneczek, wbiję do linku w opisie i miłego popołudnia. Cześć.